It has been way too long since I've posted a video, and this video is going to be a much more positive video than the last cruise review that I did. Let's get into it. If you're new here, my name is Brianna. I love just sharing travel experiences, whether that be positive, negative. I just hope that my videos help you guys, help someone if you're planning a trip or a vacation. Recently just got back from 7 days on Royal Caribbean's Harmony of the Seas, and it was amazing. It was incredible. I'm gonna do my best to try and list everything that we did while we were on Harmony of the Seas. So day one, Embarkation. Royal Caribbean has their shit in check when it comes to Embarkation. This was the second time that I've sailed Royal Caribbean, and the first time was last February out of Miami. On the ship in February last year. I'm not kidding you, took 15-20 minutes. It was so easy. And I thought maybe just because it wasn't busy season, it's February, you know, I was like, oh, maybe it's just going really quickly because there's not a lot of people sailing. I don't know. We embarked on April 28th. To go on this cruise out of Galveston, Texas. It took us 20 minutes to get off of our bus and onto the ship. It is so easy, so smooth. Compared to Norwegian, Norwegian has a lot of work to do because that was just a hot mess compared to how organized Royal Caribbean's embarkation process is. As soon as we got on the ship the first day, we kind of just started to explore, and Harmony of the Seas has a lot to see. The main promenade was kind of the same setup when I sailed on Liberty of the Seas last year. They have pizza, an Irish pub, there's some shops to look at, as well as some little bars. One thing that this cruise had on their promenade was called it was either On Air or On the Air, and that's where they would host their karaoke nights, which were very entertaining, very good people watching, honestly just an overall really good time. They also had a coffee place where you could get some little small bites for food in the morning if you wanted just a really small little something to eat. And the coffee there was pretty good. One thing that I loved getting this trip was the caramel frappuccinos. They were delicious. One thing I would definitely recommend that you do your first day, just walk around the ship, explore, see everything that there is to see, especially when you are going on one of Royal Caribbean's bigger ships. There's just so much to take in. We did end up making it outside. We saw the sports courts. They had ping pong tables. We did end up playing later in the week pickleball almost every single day, which was really, really fun. The way that they rotate it and have that organized is really great. They do have a really fun mini golf course, which we did do that as a family as well. One thing that really stood out to me on this cruise ship compared to my cruise that I took last summer on Norwegian, this ship had 3 pools. Actually, it might have been 4. But the fact that I was actually able to get into the pool was mind-blowing to me because that did not happen once the entire time that we were on our Norwegian cruise last summer. And the pools were beautiful. I think there was one of the pools had a beach entrance. So there was actually the opportunity to have poolside chairs that were in the water, which I thought was really nice considering how hot and humid it gets when you're sitting out there in the sun in the middle of the ocean. But the pools were really great. I wouldn't say they were too overly crowded. They had lifeguards everywhere, obviously. And the bartender service around the pools was incredible. There was constantly servers just walking around making sure that everyone was good on drinks. We also did do the water slides on Harmony of the Seas, which were so fun. I definitely recommend getting a little bit tipsy beforehand if you're over the age of 21. We just had a blast. We were all a little tipsy after spending the day off the ship in Roatan, just kind of drinking, hanging by a pool in the port there. And we had an amazing time once we got back on board and did the water slides. They were very fun. And on Harmony of the Seas, there are 3 water slides. So lots of options there. Now, the food situation on Harmony of the Seas. I have no complaints. I ate in the buffet once for lunch. It was really good. My dad and my husband went to the buffet for breakfast a couple of times. They said that was really great. But the one thing that I was absolutely obsessed with on this ship was, it was either called the Small Bites or Tiny Bites, located in the back near the sports courts. They would serve tacos and nachos, guac, queso, all the toppings, chicken, steak, carnitas. The tortillas were amazing, so soft. The chips, super great, like nice and salty, nice and crispy and crunchy. Unreal. I wish I would have discovered it earlier on in the cruise because I would have eaten it every single day for 7 days straight. Unfortunately, I didn't discover it until the end of our cruise. But once I discovered it, I was going there. I think I went there 2 days in a row for lunch. It was delicious. Just be prepared. It is the hot commodity on the ship because the food is so good. There is a line. So even a line for people waiting for it to open. Like, it's crazy, it's that good. You can check the times, that all of the things to do, all of the restaurants that are open that you can eat at, everything is available on the Royal Caribbean app that you can access on your phone, on the ship. You do not need the Wi-Fi to access the app on your phone. We did do specialty dining on this cruise. I've never done specialty dining on Royal Caribbean before. We did do specialty dining last year on Norwegian, which that was the best food that we had eaten the entire week on Norwegian. And so this time around on Royal Caribbean, we did do the Chops Grill, which is their steakhouse. It was insane. Number one, you can literally order whatever you want off of the menu. There was, I think, 6 or 7 appetizers. I think I ordered, or my brother ordered 6 out of the 7 appetizers. You can order whatever you want. The food was delicious. Our server, so personable, so great, made sure that everything was good, made sure that all the food came out great, made sure everyone was good on drinks. Service was great, food was great. We all got ribeye steaks. The steaks were cooked perfectly. They had the option to choose different sauces if you wanted it on the side with your steak. My dad ended up getting some, oh my gosh, it's some like weird fish, but he ended up liking it. He had never had it before, but he did end up liking it. So we did do chops, and then for our last night on board, we decided to try the sushi restaurant, and the sushi was really, really good. You kind of just order a la carte. They have an option, I think it was for $40, to where you could get kind of like a 3-course meal kind of thing. And we just wanted to kind of have a smorgasbord of food. So we ended up ordering, I think, like 4 or 5 different sushi rolls, and they were all so good. Again, the service was great. It was a really nice kind of just experience to be all together as a family in a different setting. We did eat in the dining room though the other nights, and the dining room was great. I think it was the first or second night they had salmon, which I had salmon before when I sailed Royal Caribbean, and it was so good. The food on Royal Caribbean to me is just 10 out of 10, delicious, tons of options. Definitely blows Norwegian out of the water when it comes to the food. So our room that we stayed in on this ship was a room that overlooked the Central Park. This ship is so big that they actually have a Central Park on the ship where when you're outside, you can look up and see the sky. So it's an actually like open part of the ship that is outside, but it feels like you're walking through, to me, it kind of gives me like downtown Disney vibes. It's super beautiful, tons of beautiful flowers and trees and just foliage. It's so green. They have a bar outside. That's where a lot of the specialty dining restaurants are. That's where the Italian place is. That's where Chops is. And then they also have a couple like jewelry, and I think there was a watch store out there as well. One of the things that I loved about our room was at night, we could hear the jazz band playing in Central Park. And it was just so, I don't know, like relaxing. I don't know if relaxing is the right word to use, but our room was fantastic. It was huge, by far the biggest room I've ever stayed in on a cruise ship. You would walk in, they had a couch that would pull out to a bed. There was a nice little area where I did my makeup every night that had like a pull-out bench, tons of drawer space. There was 2 closets, one for both my husband and I. There was a safe and a fridge. The bed was not the most comfortable bed in the world, but that's okay. And then our balcony was a pretty spacious balcony with 2 chairs that would recline. I did end up falling asleep out there one day. It was so beautiful, and my parents had their room actually directly across from us, so we could see them and, you know, wave hello from our balcony. So the room was a 10 out of 10, and our room steward was so sweet. I don't know how he was able to like meet us once and remember our names for the rest of the week. Like, we would walk by and he would know our names and just say good morning, have a great day. Like, just so sweet. And if you've never sailed before, never cruised before, the people on these cruises work so hard. And I just hope that people are tipping their room stewards. And if you meet a good bartender, or if your dining staff is just really outstanding, they work so hard. And I don't know how much Royal Caribbean pays their employees and the staff. I mean, I'm sure like the captains and stuff make more, but just if you have not cruised before, tips are always appreciated. And you know, we always do tip the people on our cruises that do stand out to us, who did make our trip really memorable. As far as the activities that we did on this cruise ship, there were so many things to do. It was actually insane. Pickleball, we played almost every single morning once we discovered that there was pickleball available. And the way that they had that organized was perfect. They had equipment available if you did not bring your own paddles. A lot of people did bring their own equipment with them. We did not. We're very new to the pickleball game. And you would get in there, you would play for 10 minutes, and then after 10 minutes, they would just rotate people in and out. And at one given time, there was 3 courts of pickleball being played. So 12 people were playing every 10 minutes. We did do the mini golf. Mom and Dad did the Abyss. We did the merry-go-round. We did the arcade. We did karaoke. We did do a comedy show, which was actually really funny. We did sit front row, which I was very nervous about, because obviously when you sit front row at comedy shows, that always kind of leaves you to be a part of the show, I guess is a good way to put it. And we were a part of the show, and it was very funny. I enjoyed both of the comedians for the comedy show, were actually really great. We did do the nightclub, which honestly was pretty dead. Remember when we did Liberty of the Seas last year? It was poppin'. And that was in the month of February, which is, I feel like, an off-season time to cruise. But yeah, the nightclub was literally dead. We did go to the casino. So unfortunately, I have to cut this video short because my mom and dad are here to pick me up. We're going to lunch for Mother's Day. So I will try to finish this video in a part 2. But honestly, I can say Harmony of the Seas, incredible. Would totally recommend. The ship was beautiful. Staff was excellent. I have 0 complaints. In part 2, I will try to talk about the ports and everything that we did. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in part 2.